I'm Trudy, One Grounded Angel, and this is the weekly angel card reading that I do every week, and it's for July the 25th through to July the 29th, 2016. So I only do Monday to Friday on these video readings because I don't want to make them too long, but I do cards for Saturday and Sunday as well, and those are on my social media, my Instagram and my Facebook pages. So just a reminder that these are not predictions. What I do is I shuffle the cards and ask the angels to guide me to the right card. Sometimes it jumps out, sometimes they just tell me to stop. And so what it's going to be doing is telling us what's going to come up and what we can kind of, what we need to work on really for that day and beyond as well. Also, I know you're watching this in advance, so and you're getting messages that don't pertain to today but to later in the week. But if they're coming up now, there's probably a good chance that there's something that you need to take on board for that now. And also, sometimes they plant the seeds early for things that are going to come up later on that they want us to start kind of thinking about and processing in the back of our minds. So let's start with Monday. I've already blessed the cards and asked the angels to come through and give us the messages that we need. So for Monday, the 25th of July, tell me to stop, and it can take a while. Oh, here we go, the card has jumped out. So solar plexus chakra. If you're not familiar with chakras, they're energy centers just outside the body in our auric field, our energy field, and so our life force flows through that, and if they get blocked, that can cause problems, and emotionally and physically. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I favour or am more interested in the emotional stuff because that's just kind of my area of interest, but obviously there's a connection between the two. So the solar plexus is about our seat of power. It's how we present ourselves to the world. It can be to do with control issues as well. They can come up in here. So if there's blocks in the solar plexus chakra, which is located just in your above your navel and just slightly below, sort of where your rib cage, just below where that meets, but outside the body, but it can manifest physically in terms of digestion issues and things like that. I've written on my blog an explanation of the chakras, and I will post on Monday. I will post that blog again. It's to do with, so when we have too much energy in that chakra, some people call them chakras, I tend to call them chakras. We can be the sort of people who are dominating, you know, like the stereotypical boss who's kind of telling people what to do and not letting them have a say, and you know, they call them seagull, I think they call them seagull bosses. They swoop over and shit everywhere and leave everyone else to clean it up. And if you don't have enough energy, sometimes that can be you're a bit of a doormat. You're not assessing, or you're not sort of using your own power and going after what you want. And there can be all sorts of reasons for that. So those are very general statements, but the essence of this message is about how you use your power today. Interestingly, with this chakra, it's also about our sense of humour. So we talk about belly laughs, and that's where that comes from. So there could be, for some of you, there could be a sense that you need to lighten up as well, because when we're too intense, that's when we and really fixated on our ideas, that's when we can sort of bulldoze over other people. And the other saying that we use is fire in the belly, and that's about our power and when we're really motivated to make changes and to do what we need to do. So this is really asking, this card is really asking us to think about how we are managing our power, how we are putting ourselves out to the world. Are we being our true selves, and are we comfortable to do that? Do we wear masks? Are we trying to control other people? Are we scared that we have no control over our lives, so we're trying to micromanage different elements? You see this in people who go on holidays and they try to plan every last detail, not understanding that the beauty of travel is the adventuring and stumbling upon things. And the fact is that you cannot control as much as what you would like. So, and that's just, you know, true of all of life. So hopefully that makes sense. I think it will make more sense when I post the information on the blog. Yeah, I've posted it before, and it comes up because in Reiki I do clear energy blocks, But you know, there's always, even if you're not blocked in that chakra, there's always elements of what that represents that we can need to address. So we're looking at Tuesday now, the 26th of July. I'm using the Archangel Michael deck here. So Michael, he came up last week. He comes up all the time, but he's about security and protection and safety. And he's come up here, let go of fear. So fear is something we all struggle with. It's not the same thing as, you know, we tend to think, what are you afraid of? Oh, I'm afraid of heights, I'm afraid of flying, those sorts of things. But this is really about the underlying emotional fears that are not situational. So it's fears of being vulnerable, fears of success, fear of failure, fear of not getting what we want, fear of being alone. All those sorts of underlying fears impact the way we act in our relationships, the way we make choices professionally. And they're saying for some of you, this is a fear that's to do with a situation you're facing right now. They're saying that what's at the heart of it. Some of you are blaming other people or looking to external causes as to why you're in the situation and why you're not getting the result that you want. And they're saying it's because of your fear that you've created this. And the reason, I don't mean that in an accusing way. The reason that happens is because we attract what we're afraid of sometimes, and that can be a good thing because it gives us an opportunity to process that fear, to deal with it, and to move through it, instead of seeing the fear and running the hell away. So, what, in regards to your situation, the way through is to try and pinpoint the fear that's cutting underneath it, and you can't get rid of fear. It's just a reality of being a human being in the world. There are always going to be things that you're afraid of, and part of your journey in this lifetime is to work through those, not to see them as an obstacle to slay, but to see them as something that you not make friends with, but you identify and you move around. So you all move through, really. You need to move through them. So they never go away, but you manage them. So to get through your situation, look for the fear, identify how it's a pattern for you, where it's come up in other areas, and figure out how you're going to move through it. So I think if you can take responsibility for the situation, it's easier for you to do that, and then you can move forward once you recognize what you're fighting against. It's easier for you to make decisions, not to let it hold you back. Hopefully that was very general, but obviously this is a general reading and I need to be general because I'm speaking to so many people. But hopefully you can take the essence of what that is saying to you and realize how that pertains to your own situation. So Wednesday now, the 27th. I knew this card would come up. They've been flagging this one with me earlier today. Relationship. Now, whenever I get this card for someone in a personal one-on-one reading, I always draw their attention to the fact that this angel is coming out of the darkness and into the light. And I know the light that I'm in right now is not ideal, so perhaps you may not be able to see that too clearly. So that's hugely symbolic of coming out of darkness. So as we know with relationships, the nature of them is that they're going to go through tough times and good times, and that's perfectly healthy. And the way that you can make peace with those challenges is to understand that they are growth and that you do come out stronger. So you're coming into the light. If you're staying in the darkness, you've got a problem that you need to address, and perhaps that relationship is not going to grow. But they really want, for some of you, this card is saying you are coming into the light now and you're past the worst of it, and that they want you to understand that was necessary for the growth and the health of your relationship. But for others of you, they want you to understand that you need to learn to roll with the punches a bit better and not to get too, sometimes when we're confronted with hurdles, we can just run away, as I said earlier. And what you need to keep doing in a relationship sense is to keep showing up, even when things are hard, and to keep being vulnerable, and to not try and smooth over issues or pretend they're okay, or just go along with what the other person is saying in a bid to avoid conflict, which never works because you end up becoming bitter and it holds you back in all sorts of areas. So whatever's going on in your relationship, understand that that is the nature of relationships, and that it's not necessarily the end or an indictment on your future, but they want you to understand that challenges are for your greatest good. And the best way that you can get through a tough time is to look for the lesson and look for the opportunity to grow. And the universe keeps sending you these challenges so you can grow. And if you keep getting the same situation coming up, that means you're not growing and you're not learning the lesson you need to learn. And that's the best way to go through it. Thursday, the 28th of July. This card deck is my oldest card deck. They're really looking quite faded along the edges. You can't really see, but they're very well loved. They were the cards I had before I knew that this was going to be part of my life purpose. They're the cards that helped me personally. So I got them about 8 years ago. Anyway, this card is what's come up. It's called Move. Now there is a double meaning here. For some of you it's about moving house. And they're saying some of you are needing to move house, but you're resisting it because it feels too hard. And it is hard. It sucks. Moving is really a horrible process. But you can make it easier by asking your angels to support you, to help you find the right place, to help smoothen, that's not a word, I don't think, smooth the process in terms of getting the right people to help you, getting the negotiations happening and moving along. They're talking about your home environment, so it's really important that your home environment is a happy place because it's where you do most of your growth, your personal growth, so including your dream work. So it is really important the right elements are there. So when you are asking the universe for a new home, you need to ask them for a place that, when I say them, I mean in a general sense, ask for a place that is filled with light, if that's important to you. Somewhere that feels cozy, somewhere that has good neighbours, so you can feel like you've got a sense of community. Whatever it is that's important to you, you need to ask for it. Don't just settle because you have a mindset that it's too hard and you'll just take the first thing you find and it's probably the best you're going to get. Don't fall into that trap at all. It's really important to get it right. You don't want to jump into a situation that's okay and you think, oh, it'll be fine. It's not going to be fine. So now, the other meaning here is about moving your body. It's really important to keep moving. Now, I don't mean you have to go to the gym and slog it out, unless that's something that appeals to you, in which case, be my guest. That's the sort of exercise I like. But for most of you, it's about moving on a daily basis. So with Fitbits now, we are moving more, which is really great. The reason, obviously, that's good physically, but the reason that it's come up here is because it is the way we move along our emotions that are weighing us down and keeping us stagnant. We move, we get fresh air, we are we're in different environments. It just helps to keep things moving along so we don't get stuck ourselves. So you move the body, you're moving your emotions around as well, and that's really healthy. So they are saying for some of you this is definitely more on a health level because some of you are not getting enough exercise. And as I say, it doesn't need to be that really sweaty kind of, it's just about moving. And there's a lot of research now that shows that it's the movement you do every day that counts, not the intense short bursts that you do occasionally. So because so many of us live our lives sitting down. So we want to keep moving, keeps us healthy, remembering that the body is a really good, a really important foundation for us to do the work that we need to do here. So that's important for our emotional and our spiritual well-being. So we need to have that base right. So even if you're not sure that you are stuck in emotions and you feel like you're okay emotionally, you might be surprised what comes up for you if you start to move more. So looking ahead to Friday, it's the 29th July. How are we going to end the week? we go. Well, this is one that doesn't actually come up very often. It's receptivity. It's about receiving, essentially. So a really important element to having a healthy relationship with anyone, that's not just, so that's work colleagues as well as your significant other, it's your family, it's your neighbours, your household, is giving and receiving love. So you need to be giving and letting them help you as well. So people who, I think this came up recently from memory, so there is an idea that we need, that the key to a healthy relationship, or to being a good person, is to keep giving to people and supporting them. That is true, but we also need to let others help us. Sometimes we tend to be quite stoic and not let others, because we think it's a sign of weakness to ask for help and to let others help us. Oh no, I got this. But actually it's a sign of strength to accept that help, and to understand that no man is an island, no woman is an island. There are no medals awarded for doing it all on your own. So you need to ask for help, and you need to be open to it when you're not even asking for it and it comes your way. We are here to support each other. So that's really important. And it also is an important energy exchange as well. When you allow someone to help you, you're allowing them to give and to kind of open their heart more by doing so. But it also helps you to, by receiving, there's an energy, I'm not explaining this very well, there's an energy exchange that happens, and it is teaching us to, when you receive help, support, compliments, anything, practical help, you are saying to the universe, I understand that I'm good enough to be helped. That's what I'm trying to say, because we're all children of the universe. We're all supported, and the way the universe supports us often is through other people. So you are helping other people, and that's the universe working for you, the divine manifestation of love. And when you allow that to come back your way, and ideally it should be quite balanced, you are understanding and accepting that your place in the universe, and that you deserve love and care from other people, from the universe. So I think sometimes when we hold ourselves off, we hold ourselves slightly aloof, and we don't let other people helping us, we're really saying that we don't, on a subconscious level, we don't think we deserve it. So there's all sorts of ideas here about divine connection that I could really delve into here, but I won't, because I don't think that you necessarily need to know. What you do need to know is that it's important for you to be open to receiving, because that's how you honour the universe in doing so. It's not greedy, it's not selfish, it's what we're here to do. And if you're taking the piss, that's a different thing, but you're not. So because you understand, hopefully, that when someone is offering help to you, that it's not only polite to accept it, it's actually helping them and helping you. So, and you do that because we are all here, we're all here to walk each other home. It's one of my favourite quotes. Now, who was that? I can't remember who said it. It's one of my favourite quotes, and I can never remember who says it, but I will find out. So that is this week. We've got a real mixed bag here. We've got messages about dealing with fears, about dealing with our power, or making sure we're using our power well, so putting ourselves forward and not letting fear hold us back. So we've got some relationship stuff to work through. Now, if you are single, that doesn't mean that this card does not relate to you. It does. It's to do with, sorry, I'm just moving my legs, I've gone to sleep. It's to do with all sorts of relationships. It's not just your primary relationship. So if you're single, there's still messages in here for you about the way that you, the challenges that you go through in your family, with your best friends, all sorts of things. It's natural that there's going to be hurdles in those relationships too. So, and those are also platforms for growth and very important. I know in our society we kind of elevate our love relationships and put them on the pedestal as they're our most important and our priority, but they're not the only. That's not actually the case. It's the way our relationships with all people that. It's how we grow and how we express love. So don't get too fixated on the idea of it being in regards to a partner. So even if you're in a relationship, it might not be your relationship with your significant other that this is speaking to. You've got to trust your intuition, as with all of these cards, on what this actually means to you. Moving your body, perhaps moving house, you'll know again if that's for you. and receiving love. That's a really beautiful message there. So I will put these on my social media as I do every day. Instagram, my Instagram is at One Grounded Angel, and my Facebook page is called One Grounded Angel. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want to get these notified when these videos go live. And as always, you can hit me up if you need more information or you're confused about the messages. If you do want deep information that relates to you personally, you do need to book a personal reading, and you can find out how to do that on my blog, and it's onegroundedangel.com. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the feedback you give me, and it is my absolute joy to be able to do this for you. That is part of my life purpose, and hearing from people about the ways that these have been helpful to them in their personal growth and their life is really meaningful to me, so thank you very much for that. I will look forward to doing another video for you next weekend. Take care, everyone.